What's up, folks? How's it going? Waiting for the dudes to finish their drinking. That way I can top it off a little bit for them. They Look at that salt brush. You know what they call it? The salt brush, the four-leaf salt brush. Oh, they nibble that thing down. There's a lot of young ones over here. There's where they were. There's what it looks like afterwards. So they eat a lot of the baby greens, and they also leave a lot of these little green ones. So these should grow back. Only thing is, I got to string trim this, or hopefully it can come after. But you know, I think they disturb it enough to where they don't have to worry about it. I mean, it just becomes mulch. You can see. We'll see after the monsoon just how much of a difference it makes. But the only other thing that my concern is getting rid of these two. The goats and sheep don't mind this, the needle and thread, when they're younger. But once they get mature like this, they don't eat it, and that's going to seed. And I've read that these can become invasive, which I believe is true because I don't know if you can see camera around right there on the hill. That is nothing but that needle and thread grass. That whole hillside from this far. And the other one, look at that sea of foxtail. You gotta love it, huh? That's this little thing here. A little foxtail. Oh, that broke off. There's another one that looks similar to this. I believe they call it a squirrel tail. Sure. I think this is a foxtail. So I've just been calling it foxtail. So these two, I'm just trying to eliminate, but I think it's a little bit too late. So this is what they're doing. They leave the poop down, the urine and everything. They mow a lot of it down. And look at that. That's beautiful. They just, that old grass, all the winter fat, they nibbled it all down. I don't really want to put them over here yet. They love this stuff, the Indian grass, the Indian rice grass. It's good stuff right there for them. Call it nididlidi in the Navajo language. It's nididlidi. It's a grain. It's an ingredient for some traditional food. My mom never really told me how to make that, but she just said that she used to make those when she was younger. But this is what I wanted to show y'all. Look at that sea of foxtail in the evening sun. How crazy is that? Probably about up to here. Up to here. It's about at least 100 feet wide. And it starts right over here. And this whole area is just a sea of foxtail now. And it keeps going, going, going. And it going way down here. Yep, all the way down there. It's just a sea of foxtails. So I just eliminated that, and it keeps going. We can zoom again, going. It goes way up to the ridge. So that's just a sea of foxtails. So I'm kind of, I don't want to put them in there right now because I lost a little goat. It might have been from that. Might have swallowed it or something. There was a little bit over here where they were the other night, 3 nights ago. the following night, she kind of wasn't feeling too well. So, but you can see behind me where they were, it was like that too. So we're gonna slowly move that way, somehow come back around that way to the house. In time for July, we do a vaccination, and we're gonna separate the bucks. They've already been kind of sniffing at the air, so I don't know how good that's gonna how good that's gonna do. This program is working for me right now. I love it. As you can see, they've been eating a lot of the older grass, and I believe I'm not an ecologist or a botanist or whatever those things you call them, those you know professions, but I just always felt like if a vegetation is eaten by livestock, it's stimulated to grow. It wants to grow, but it's just in dormant mode right now. That for years, you know, my herd has just been passing through it. They just go to where they want to go, where their favorite forage is, and they spend, the day there. And they overgraze in those areas, ignoring these all along. And now we're spot grazing, covering at least 99% of the area. I believe it's going to stimulate the vegetation to grow even more, to grow healthier and better because they're staying here, their urine is covering the pasture, their manure is covering the pasture. So that's the other thing, the reason why I ordered 3 more of these. I'm not going to touch it, that's hot. If I touch it right here, that's plastic. So that way we have twice the size and we still move them twice a day. So that's what we have going. And we just have water tank out here. That's the only thing right now. That's our biggest challenge, but we're making it work. And we make do with what we have. So, as I mentioned before, I've always wanted to do this. I've talked about doing it, and I wish my mom was here to see me do this, and I would, tell her that I wanted to do it this way. She was a very forward thinking woman, She didn't speak English. She didn't get no formal education, like in the educational system. Not even a day of it. Grew up herding sheep. Grew up on the land. Only spoke Navajo, but her mind was just amazing. Very business minded, very forward thinking. And when I started gardening, I told her how I wanted to do it, how I wanted to set it up, following the market garden style with JM Fortier, Elliot Coleman, those folks. She would she would at first, her reaction is like, that's not how you do it traditionally. You don't grow corn like that traditionally. You know, traditionally Navajos, they clear an entire land and then they put certain amounts of seeds in one hole at like 10, 12 feet apart, things like that. And I was telling her, I was like, I didn't grow up like that, so I don't exactly know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about, but I've never done it that way, but I want to do it this way. And, you know, I did it the market gardening style, and everything grew right. And she just observed, and, she just told me, hey, if it's working for you, do it. You don't know until you try. And you did it. So, I mean, just with this, I know she would probably say the same thing. And it's just the type of woman she was, very encouraging, and she would tell you, you won't know the end result unless you do it. And that's the only reason why I love to experiment with a lot of things. Yeah, big ups to her, you know. All right, y'all. I gotta get home and get dinner. I gotta feed Mo. I gotta clean her wound again tomorrow. Got her off the antibiotics. Her wound is healing a lot better now. We cleaned it last night. Another deep cleaning. So tomorrow we'll do another deep cleaning. So, all right, y'all. We'll see you later. Peace out.